Sanskrit, it means the land of jewels. In May 2023, this small Indian state erupted into violence, so brutal that 100 died and thousands were displaced. The story of Manipur begins in legend. As mythology goes, god Nongpo King Thao and goddess Panthoibi created Manipur with their cosmic dance. According to Chaitaral Kumbhapa, a royal chronicles, mixing myth and historical records, a divine being named Nongda Lairen Pakhangba descended around 33 CE to unite the seven mighty clans. He established Kangla Palace at the kingdom's heart and introduced rituals like Lai Haroba, the festival of gods, which is followed till date, and it acts as a testament of ancient, mighty animistic tradition. Ancient Manipur developed sophisticated culture, including Sagol Kangjai, the game of polo. Manipur claimed to be the birthplace of polo, played with their indigenous ponies long before the British soldiers came, learned the sport, and took it to west. Later, king like Loyungba codified laws, established land tenure systems, built temples. This was much more a foundation of a centralized kingdom. But in 18th century, everything changed. King Pamheba converted to Vaishnavism. This was under an influence of a Bengali missionary, and this happened around 1717. Records suggest that he himself didn't just convert to Hinduism, he imposed it on his entire kingdom, and he replaced the name Kanglai Pak with the Sanskrit word Manipur. It is also said that he ordered burning of scriptures and manuscripts, but that is debatable. He created a rupture in the cultural fabric of Manipur, and this would take years to heal. After King Garib Nawaz, his succession weakened the kingdom. Burmese troops invaded in 1819, and it is said, as per Chaitral Kumbhapa, these were the 7 years of devastation, leading to mass deportation, forced labor, and famine. Liberation came in 1826. King Gambhir Singh, with British military training, along with the crucial support of Kuki and Naga tribes, expelled the Burmese. The Treaty of Yangdabo made sure that Manipur remained a sovereign state under the British Raj. In 1842, Christianity was introduced by Reverend Miles Brunson. Some say this was a way used by the British to tame the tribes. Manipur, now a princely state, nominally independent but firmly under the British control, and in 1891, a diplomatic dispute triggered the First Anglo-Manipur War. British forces invaded the kingdom. Princes were killed, lots of life were lost, effectively ending the autonomy of the kingdom. However, the facade of the royal rule continued. Mighty people dominated the valley, but the surrounding hills were the home to the tribes. The Kuki tribes to the south and the Naga tribes to the north, both with distinct language and their own traditions. As World War I approached, the British officials reached out to Raja Churachand Singh. They requested for soldiers for the World War I Labour Corps. King promised 2,000 mighty soldiers, but when the British officials reached out to the Kuki tribe, they refused, and this triggered the Anglo-Kuki War, lasted for 2 years, from 1917 till 1919. After crushing the resistance, the British enforced Christianization of the hill tribes. Missionaries built schools, hospitals, and churches. Within decades, most of the hill tribes were converted. This laid a foundation of a religious division between the valley and the hill people, and this exists till date. As India gained independence in 1947, King then Raja Bodh Chandra proposed the Manipur Constitution Act. Elections were held in 1948, one of the earliest democratic exercises in Asia. However, India had other plans. Official record states that the king willingly signed the Treaty of Accession. However, few Manipuri account claims that the king was called to Shillong, placed under house arrest, and forced to sign the Treaty of Accession. Manipur's constitution was dissolved. The elected assembly was terminated. In 1956, Manipur became a union territory. But it wasn't till 1972 that a statehood was granted. But by then, a strong resentment about the forceful merger has already taken roots. The two pieces of 1960 legislation fundamentally shaped the relation between the ethnic groups, the Meiteis and the hill tribes. The Land Reform Act of 1960 prohibited the Meiteis from purchasing land in the hill area, stating it protects the tribal land from exploitation. But it created an asymmetry. The tribals could buy land anywhere in Manipur, but the Meiteis could not. And thus, the hill tribes, as per the Meiteis, were beneficial because the hill area comprised 90% of the Manipur land. Then came the local committee of 1965. This established the criteria for the ST status, the scheduled tribe status. The Nagas and the Kukis already got the SC status, and they got constitutional protection, development benefits, and political reservation. However, the Meiteis just got the SC and the OBC status, thus creating friction among the people of Manipur. Starting 1964, various Meitei insurgent groups took up arms. They formed groups, armies, and militias amongst themselves. They argued India's illegal occupation in the land. As per them, the Treaty of Accession was not obtained in legitimate manner, and thus India's presence in the land was prohibited, and hence they waged guerrilla warfare in the land of Manipur for decades. Simultaneously, Naga insurgent groups started popping up. They wanted a greater Nagaland region, which included various parts of densely inhabited Naga population. These areas were from Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Tripura. Also included some parts of Myanmar, and they called it the Greater Nagaland region. Watching this, Kukis also started creating their own insurgent groups. But their ask was a little different. They wanted to unite the densely populated Kuki areas into a single state, but within India. These overlapping claims ignited inter-tribal violence within Manipur, and the rest will follow a vicious violence cycle that the state will see for years. For example, on September 1993, NSCN, a Naga insurgent group, entered a Kuki village and killed hundreds of civilians, including children, women, and elderly. Till date, the Kuki group commemorate this as a Black Day. In 1980, Indian government imposed Armed Forces Special Power Act, commonly known as AFSPA, declaring Manipur as a disturbed state. Human rights organizations allegedly documented allegations of extrajudicial killing, torture and abuse. The hunger strike for 16 years led by Irom Sharmila became the front face of protest against ASPA in Manipur. As violence became a day-to-day part of life in Manipur, Government of India in 2005, along with 25 Kuki militant groups, signed in suspension of operations agreement. Militants will be confined to a camp and disarmed, and in exchange will receive stipend and ceasefire. This agreement was extended year on year, and it was still applicable in 2023. Critics say that this legitimized militancy, as well as it created a parallel power structure within the state of Manipur. In 2012, the long-standing demand of the Meitei community for the ST status intensified. The Meiteis argued that they are the indigenous people of the land, and currently they face demographic challenge and hence needed constitutional protection. The tribals viewed this as a threat, a chance to get hands on the hill lands and also dilute the ST status within the state. In 2017, N. Biren Singh switched from Congress to BJP and became the Chief Minister of Manipur. His government focused on narcotics control, border security, and illegal immigration from Myanmar. In the year 2023, the state government ordered a forest land survey. This was an action taken to cut down on illegal encroachment and poppy cultivation. However, the tribal refused, stating Article 371C, which gives authority to the Hill District Council over land and the hill forest. During the forest land survey, the government found a lot of illegal encroachment within the tribal lands. They proceeded with the demolition strategy, leading to 200 families displaced. The All Tribal Student Union led a peaceful march which clashed with a government event, leading to 5 days of internet shutdown and a curfew in the state. In April 2023, 3 churches were burned and then demolished by the government, stating as an illegal encroachment built on a government land. This was not viewed as a neutral law enforcement by the Christian Kuki community. They felt this was an attack on their culture. The Manipur High Court in 2023 ordered the state to consider the Meitei ST status. This was viewed very controversial, and it sparked a tribal solidarity march across the state, which then turned violent. However, the Supreme Court turned down the High Court orders, stating the High Court didn't have the power to change the ST status of any tribal group. But the damage was already done. On 3rd May 2023, the All Tribal Student Union organized a solidarity march in protest of the Meitei Scheduled Tribe status. 80,000 people participated with one clear message to reject the Meitei Scheduled Tribe status. Simultaneously, the Meiteis organized a counter-protest, and they were in favor of the ST status. But these two groups clashed, creating violence at the Anglo-Kuki War Memorial. Within hours, violence engulfed Manipur. On May 4th, 2023, in Thobal district, mob raided the Indian Reserve Battalion headquarters. They looted armories, and now both the militia groups have their hands on military-grade arms. Human rights organizations documented horrific atrocities. Women were stripped, paraded naked, and sexually assaulted. Men were killed, elderlies were beaten to death. Such incident occurred. On May 18th, survivor of the atrocities filed FIR and 0 FIRs in police stations wherever possible. But no actions were taken. After 79 days, when the footages of those atrocities became viral across the nation, with the nation's outcry, police were forced to take actions, leading to the arrest of the perpetrators. Fake news added fuel to the fire. A photo of a dead woman wrapped in a plastic claiming to be the recent victim of an assault, enraged public sentiments. Digital forensics later claimed that this was an old photograph taken from an unrelated incident which was back in Delhi. In the age of smartphone, rumors became facts and lies became rallying cries. During this, the state institution collapsed. Police officers buried their post and sided with their own communities. There was no trust in the administration. 1700 zero FIRs were found in Churachandrapur, but there was no action taken. The state and administration completely paralyzed. The Reuters document that the fighters and ex-combatant from Myanmar civil war has infiltrated Manipur. They brought along military-grade weapons and tactics. It was very easy for them to infiltrate because of the FMR, the Free Movement Region, and porous borders. The violence didn't end on 3rd of May 2023. Across 2024 and currently 2025, NGOs documented periodic mass killings, protests, as well as militia activities across the state of Manipur. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh received unprecedented criticism for failure to protect citizens, deliver justice, and maintain peace within the state. In February 2025, he resigned. Manipur came under President's rule, putting Manipur directly under the central government administration. But the real question still remained unanswered. The conflict in Manipur isn't about land or ST status. It's about a colonial legacy, administrative decisions which separated communities rather being inclusive in nature, boundaries drawn by outsiders, religions imposed by force. It's about the 1949 merger with India that, as per many Manipuris, is controversial and forced. It's about the 1960 Land Reform Acts which created asymmetry in the rights among the citizens. It's about the decades of insurgency that was met with high militarization in the area. It's about economic inequality, the dominance of valley in business and education. It's about the demographic anxiety among both the groups. It's also about the Myanmar instability that spills across the state because of the porous borders. Experts propose many different ways to attain peace within the state. Let's explore them one at a time. Firstly, formation of an independent constitutional committee with representatives from all the committees and including neutral observers. They should review the classification of the ST status with transparency and also review the land law and rights. Secondly, security reform is also required. Police forces should include people from all ethnicities. A frank review on AFSPA is also required, with phase-out zones where low violence is monitored. And thirdly, by creating a land forest rights framework that respects the provision of Article 371. Also, that should not encourage illegal encroachment and FMR should be discontinued. This should be done with complete transparency and judicial oversight. Finally, a civic reconciliation. This should be an aim to bring communities together, respecting each other's community and degrading the insurgency. Sports, arts can play a big role in getting both these communities together. Also, joint business ventures and projects can help. Manipur means land of jewels, and jewels are formed under drastic pressure over a long period of time. The Sangai deer, the state animal of Manipur, is found nowhere else in the world except Manipur. It survives at Loktak Lake on unstable grounds, and like it, the people of Manipur should learn to coexist together and live together even if it requires on a difficult terrain. The violence of 2023 has exposed every fault line within the state. Now it's on the people, how they come together and build a better future for themselves. Both communities have their own set of grievances and they are legitimate. Both have lost and suffered and both fear for their future. The question is not whether Manipur will find peace, but the question is, will it choose to before another generation is lost? Hi guys, if you like the video, please do like and subscribe. If you dislike it, also you can use the dislike button. Please mention your suggestions in the comment section. I did this video with whatever research I could do and get my hands on. So yeah, any suggestions are welcome, and I plan to do this kind of videos through all the states and union territories and cover all of current affairs and history. So yeah, please do subscribe if you feel like. Thanks guys. Signing off, the Indian man.